White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany roasts CNN over the Breonna Taylor violence. Nancy Pelosi isn't so gung-ho about impeaching President Trump anymore. Plus, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris continue to hide, and the media are taking notice. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a great week. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with what's going on in Louisville. The grand jury came back in the Breonna Taylor case, announced their indictments, announced their findings, and chaos erupted. Why? Because the main officer, former Louisville officer, Brett Hankison, was indicted on 3 counts of wanton endangerment. Now, because of that, because the grand jury didn't come back and charge him or the other 2 officers with murder, everything erupted. Black Lives Matter is freaking out. They say they want justice, but we all know they don't want justice. They want revenge. They want revenge. That's what it's all about. His NBA wokeness, LeBron James, he went on Twitter. He tweeted this: "I've been lost for words today. I'm devastated, hurt, sad, mad. We want justice for Brianna, yet justice was meant for her neighbor's apartment walls, not her beautiful life. Was I surprised at the verdict? Absolutely not. But I was and still am hurt and heavy-hearted. I send my love to Brianna, mother, family, and friends. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Verdict? What is he talking about, verdict? This is where these people don't know what's going on. There is no verdict because there's been no trial. This is a grand jury indictment so they can go to trial. Give me a break. Yet all this violence erupted. As we heard, after this announcement, 2 police officers were shot. A black suspect went up and shot 2 police officers, one of whom is black. This is just violence for the sake of violence, and BLM turns their head. Democrats turn their head all summer long, said nothing about the violence. They had the national stage at their Democrat National Convention. None of them, including Joe Biden, said anything about it. Then some polls come out and say, oh man, American people don't like this. You better talk about it. All of a sudden, the media were talking about it. Joe Biden's talking about it. It's so insincere. I mean, give me a break. And yet, we have this violence, and it's going on. Kentucky's Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, came out and blasted it. He said mob justice is not justice. Get this out of the system. You guys have to stop. Well, because he said this, CNN's Brianna Keilar, she went on, she blasted Cameron as if this is some kind of code language for racism. I mean, just blasting this mob violence. Here's what she said: "I question the judgment of the Kentucky Attorney General saying mob justice is not justice. He said it becomes revenge. And you know, that's not being said in a vacuum, Laura, because the word the mob and the president having said that if Joe Biden wins, the mob wins, and that's what he said, we know this is very politically loaded language. Politically loaded language. Yeah, that's what they say all the time when conservatives tell it like it is. That's what they don't like. They don't like truth, so they call it politically loaded language. Well, this didn't sit well with White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany at all. She blasted CNN. She blasted Brianna Keilar, and it was awesome. So at her press conference, she echoed the statements of Daniel Cameron about mob justice is not justice. And here's what she said about Brianna Keilar's comments.
And what is outrageous about this take is that mob justice is not justice. Hours later, after this comment was made on CNN, 2 police officers were shot. This is not justice. This has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with the value of human life and the safety and security of our American cities.
I absolutely love this. Calling out the media for these kind of statements is something so rare, yet this is what needs to be done. People need to speak out so that people can see that CNN and MSNBC and ABC News and CBS and PBS and on, call them out for what they are, mouthpieces of the left. And she does it. President Trump does it. A few others are doing it now, and it's great to see. It is so great to see. And here's more.
Our police officers deserve our respect, and the violence that is being committed towards them, and this was just in the last week and a half, is outrageous. And the words of CNN and of Brianna Keilar are outrageous, irresponsible, and we should never hear statements like that followed by hours later, 2 police officers being shot.
So while CNN tries to cover for BLM and this violence, this rioting and looting, the shooting of police, as they try and cover for them and label it as mostly peaceful protesters, McEnany, President Trump, Ted Cruz, Kevin McCarthy, they're calling these folks out. They're calling them out, and it's awesome to see. We need more of that so people can see through this. You got to recall, a lot of people out there still watch the mainstream media, this legacy media, so left-wing, they watch it. We've got to get our message out, and Kayleigh McEnany's doing it. All right, so next, I want to talk about Nancy Pelosi. But first, folks, I have a special announcement. I'm so excited, and I can't even believe it. Let's talk about subscribers, because we just hit 90,000 subscribers. 90,000. I can't even believe it, and it's all because of you. Your support. I know there's folks in the chat who make comments who have been here since we had 100 or 500 subscribers. Now we have 90,000, and I just have to say thank you. I am just so honored, so just ecstatic that we've made it this far. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So we can talk about our contest, our drive. If you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, because we are making our push for 100,000 subscribers by Election Day. 100K by Election Day, and we can do it with your help. All right, let's talk about Nancy Pelosi, because she was pushing this impeachment. And it's just so funny because she doesn't seem so gung-ho on impeachment anymore. Maybe this idea of impeaching the president for actually following the Constitution isn't as popular as she thought it was going to be. Here's Nancy Pelosi talking about it just this weekend.
Some have mentioned the possibility, if they try to push through a nominee in a lame duck session, that you in the House could move to impeach President Trump or Attorney General Barr as a way of stalling and preventing the Senate from acting on this nomination.
Well, we have our options. We have arrows in our quiver that I'm not about to discuss right now.
See, even there, ABC News' George Stephanopoulos acknowledged that impeachment would be a stall tactic. That's what we've come to. The media and the Democrats getting together to push impeachment for political stalling. So the Democrats don't get their way. One of their tools is we're just going to impeach the president. Give me a break, folks. He is following the Constitution. These are part of the duties of the President of the United States. And Nancy Pelosi talks about impeachment, and Stephanopoulos just encourages it. It's outrageous. But House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, he was having none of it. He got on TV and he let it stand right from the beginning, point blank, where Nancy Pelosi was headed if she pushes this.
The Senate is supposed to take the action, and they will. It's the constitutional right, and they're following through. And I'll make you this one promise. Listening to the Speaker on television this weekend, if she tries to move for an impeachment based upon the president following the Constitution, I think there'll be a move on the floor to have her no longer, or the question of her being Speaker.
All right, Nancy Pelosi, this isn't the old spineless GOP anymore. Because of President Trump and people like Senator Ted Cruz, Kayleigh McEnany, Kevin McCarthy, people who are willing to speak out, this isn't the spineless GOP. You need to watch out. McCarthy dropped the hammer on Pelosi, and here's more.
We believe everybody in Congress raises their hand and swears to uphold the Constitution. The president did too, and that's what he's following through on. And to think for one moment that they would move impeachment because he's following the Constitution, we will take the movement to remove her from speakership.
So she's pushing impeachment, talking about it, floating the idea, one of the arrows in her quiver. McCarthy lays down the law. So how does she feel about it now? Here's a report from Fox News. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi now says she's not considering a fresh round of impeachment charges against President Trump as a tool to delay a Supreme Court confirmation vote. I don't think he's worth the trouble at this point, she told reporters Thursday, which also marked the one-year anniversary of the speaker announcing the first impeachment inquiry. Isn't this awesome? Isn't this great what a little backbone can do? Congratulations to GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, to President Trump, Senator Ted Cruz, Kayleigh McEnany, all of those who are willing to speak out now, all of those who are willing to say, hey, this isn't the way it's going. We're not going to push impeachment for following the Constitution. Give me a break. It's outrageous what she was trying, and I'm so happy that they had pushed back, that they actually pushed back. All right, let's talk politics. Let's talk about Biden-Harris, or maybe it's Harris-Biden. I can't tell. Either way, they're trying to run a campaign by not campaigning, by hiding. I mean, Joe Biden's not available. Kamala Harris isn't available, and the media are taking notice. So many times this month, the campaign has put a lid, what they call a lid, which means when they stop their activities, they've stopped activities before noon so many times this month, and the election's in November. The media are starting to take notice, and here's the story. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden has been calling it a day before noon on a regular basis. Reporters have taken to Twitter to announce the lid, the end of activities for the day, as they get word from the Biden campaign. And the lids have continued even as the November election looms closer. So their campaign strategy is to not campaign. President Trump is out there. He's holding rallies. He's talking to people. He's talking about his positions. He's talking about what he plans to do for the next 4 years after what he's done with lowering taxes, building the economy, record low unemployment, regulations, building the wall, defeating ISIS, bringing troops home. I can go on and on. That's what he's done. These guys are hiding, hoping the media will kind of just push them through, and they've got bogus positions on all these issues. Maybe that's why they're hiding. Well, the media have taken notice, like I said, and the reaction has just been stunning. Now, Jake Schneider over at President Trump's rapid response team, he tweeted this. And there it is. At 9:22 a.m., 42 days before the election, a lid has been called by the Biden campaign. Oh my gosh. And then there's Joe Concha, who's a reporter for The Hill. He tweeted this. With 42 days left, Biden campaign again calls a lid on the day. No events, no questions. If Trump wins, we'll look back on the strategy of playing not to lose as a key factor. And some Democrats who can accurately gauge the feeling on the ground know it. Concha's referring to comments by Michael Moore, who is just blasting the Biden campaign for this strategy. So you know it's bad when someone like Michael Moore is blasting you and you're supposed to be on the same side. Then there's Weijia Zhang over at CBS News. She tweeted this. There are 7 weekends left to campaign before Election Day. Tonight, the president is holding a rally in the battleground state of North Carolina. The Biden team called a lid at 8:34 a.m., which means we won't see the former vice president for the rest of the day. This is unreal. You don't hear from Biden. You don't hear from Harris. I think they're both afraid, wondering who's going to go out and say the dumber thing. Who's going to be the gaffmeister, Biden or Harris? Because they are both pros at it and they're both staying in the basement. But I am so glad that the media is picking up on this and at least some of them are speaking out. But when we talk about this, it's a perfect lead in when we're talking about Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the rest of the left. We need to ask, do you have a relaxed brain?
I got what you call a relaxed brain.
All right, first we have some polling, and I know people don't trust polls. They're biased, they're slanted and everything like that. But folks, this one's from the Babylon Bee, so you know it has to be accurate. Check out these findings. Study finds most Americans trust Dr. Pepper over Dr. Fauci. Hey, it's a study. It's not even a poll. It's a study, so you know it has to be accurate. Next, how about some karma, folks? How about some karma? I just absolutely love it. Look at this lady. This anti-Trump lady. She's in her car. She is about to give it to some Trump supporters good. She sees them. She's going to give it to them good. Check this out. Yep, she's really sticking it to those Trump supporters. What could possibly go wrong? my gosh, not only because she was so involved in just sticking it to those Trump supporters, not only did she hit the car in front of her, but there were cops right behind her. It's so awesome. I just love it. That makes my Friday right there. Hopefully you can take that into the weekend and know that as nasty as those people are, there's karma out there. I just love it. Folks, again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the 90,000. Let's keep pushing. Let's do this thing. All right. So before you go, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. And I'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is the 13-Minute News Hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-Minute News Hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.